We begin with breaking news related to the Karen Read trial. Michael Proctor, the lead state police investigator, has been relieved of his duties effective immediately. During the trial, he drew a lot of criticism for sending inappropriate text messages about Read, which he shared with friends and colleagues.
And that is just one part of our top story tonight. The news about Proctor coming just hours after a judge declared the murder case against Karen Read a mistrial. Thanks for staying up with us tonight. I'm Priscilla Casper.
I'm Glenn Jones. It became one of the most watched legal battles in Massachusetts. There were 5 days of deliberations, but the jury remained divided, and the judge made the final call today after getting another note from jurors. Take a listen.
To continue to deliberate would be futile and only serve to force us to compromise these deeply held beliefs. I'm not going to do that to you folks. Your service is complete. I'm declaring a mistrial in this case.
It may not have been the result they wanted, but Karen Read's legal team took the news as a victory.
Meanwhile, still no resolution, no justice for the family of John O'Keefe. Read remains accused of hitting and killing her boyfriend with her car in 2022. The Boston police officer was found dead outside a party in Canton. Police say she hit him and left him to die in a blizzard. She maintains she didn't do it, and she's being framed by law enforcement.
Even though the trial is technically done, the case is far from over.
The Norfolk County District Attorney's Office says they intend to retry the case. So what does that mean? There will be a second trial. As of right now, the charges still stand against Karen Read, which includes second-degree murder, but that could change during a retrial.
We also learned today the juror list will not be made public despite a state Supreme Court decision in 2015 that requires juror lists to be released. There is a caveat to the rule when there is a risk of harm to the jurors.
Right, there is so much information to break down this case. We want to get right over to our NBC 10's Kirsten Glavin with a big breaking development tonight.
Kirsten, you just got new information about this lead state police investigator relieved of his duties. Break it all down for us.
Yeah, Trooper Michael Proctor was under an internal affairs investigation by his own department, and we now know he has been suspended. This comes after several jaw-dropping moments during this trial where he was asked to read aloud some of his vulgar and disturbing text messages about Karen Read. Massachusetts State Police trooper and lead investigator in the Karen Read murder trial, Michael Proctor, relieved from his duty effective immediately. State Police confirming the action in a statement saying, quote, "Upon learning today's result, the department took immediate action to relieve Trooper Michael Proctor of duty and formally transfer him out of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office State Police Detectives Unit. This follows our previous decision to open an internal affairs investigation after information about serious misconduct emerged in testimony at the trial."
I'm declaring a mistrial in this case.
The suspension coming just hours after a mistrial was declared. NBC 10 Boston investigators confronting Proctor at his house just before the announcement.
We'd like to ask you some questions. Do you think your actions impacted the outcome of the trial?
Get off of our lawn. Right?
I'm not on your lawn. I'm on the street. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
I fully support my husband. Karen Read is a murderer.
To come back.
The jury unable to determine a verdict after 5 days and more than 27 hours of deliberations. Last Monday, ending 29 total days of testimony, with the prosecution calling 68 witnesses in this case and the defense calling 6.
The deep division is not due to a lack of effort or diligence, but rather a sincere adherence to our individual principles and moral convictions.
This note delivered to Judge Beverly Cannoni from the jury, stating they've been deeply divided by fundamental differences and opinions. The Norfolk District Attorney's Office confirming they intend to retry the case. Outside of court, Read's defense signaling this isn't the end.
This is what it looks like when you bring false charges against an innocent person. The Commonwealth did their worst. They brought the weight of the state based on spurious charges, based on compromised investigation and investigators, and compromised witnesses.
Free Karen Read supporters down the road telling NBC 10 Boston they're not going anywhere.
This case is a travesty of justice and a mockery of justice.
My initial expression was automatic, not guilty. But as we learned, this case nothing happens the way it's supposed to happen.
Oh, we'll be back. We'll be back. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've never met Karen, but I love Karen, and Karen could be any one of us.
Now, this was no doubt an emotional day for John O'Keefe's family, his mother wiping away tears in court. They declined to comment, leaving the courthouse this afternoon. Now, as far as where we go from here, there is a status hearing scheduled for July 22nd. The judge and attorneys for both sides will go over when this case could possibly be retried. We're live here in Dedham tonight. I'm Kirsten Glavin, NBC 10 Boston.